I've prayed us in. And what I want to say is, wow. Okay, I have 3 visions, but one I've not received the Holy Spirit interpretation on yet, so I'm going to refrain until I get more of an understanding of what that was that I saw. But I did see something that was very clear. Okay, so there's 2 things we're going to put on this video. One, if you are a person who has been betrayed over and over and over and over and over by the individual who was to be your kingdom ordained spouse. Hear me, y'all. Sorry, I got my dryer going. Just ignore the dryer. Okay, sorry. Life has to keep going, right? We got multiple people here doing laundry. So, let me tell you, that person is so uncomfortable right now. The one who was meant to be your spouse for the rest of your life, and they knew it. And they prayed for you. They asked for you, but though they had a lot of obstacles to overcome and they were handling things, eventually they were catching on to the fact that you're their spouse, and they were coming around, they were dealing with warfare, and they were learning how to war in the spirit, and their eyes were opening to what this whole thing is about. I mean, it takes a minute to like accept and embrace this whole kingdom spouse journey, right? So they finally started to do that, and they were making these positive changes in their life and gains. However, they succumb. I'm going to be very brutally transparent here. They succumb to the spirit of lust, sexual desire for relations outside of marriage. And they succumb to this over and over with different people, even the opposite, even the same sex. And they failed this test that God was giving them. Over and over and over they were failing the test until finally said, time's up. That's it. I've given you so many opportunities to get the thing that you've been praying for and asking me for. Apparently you don't really want it because you'd be sleeping with everything else under the sun. So that person, whether they're female, male, whatever they are currently right now in this hour suffering physically tremendously. Now, they not only are they suffering physically, but they're also face to face with much regret, because it is hitting them smack between the eyes what they gave up. You know, these people really had an opportunity to grow as human beings and to truly metamorphosize. I remember in the case of my kingdom spouse, which is no longer, that is totally over now, there was a period in time where the Lord would show me like a moth, and I understood that my kingdom spouse was fasting to get close to God. He was taking on fasting. That's huge, you guys. That's like tremendous for a person to go from like not really even knowing God at all, not being saved, then to get into salvation, then to pursue sanctification. I was like, whoa, you know. So that happened. So they were able to do that. But after that too, actually even before that time, the Lord was showing me this kingdom spouse person as a butterfly. Like the cocoon season, you know, was done, and they were coming out of the cocoon like a whole new creature, a butterfly. So even though they got to salvation, went into sanctification, graduated, you know, because there's all these levels. We go from glory to glory to glory to glory until we walk into glory, you know, and then I think even when we're in glory, we continue to go from glory to glory. I think that's an eternal thing that we do. So even though they had done all that, what happens is people get impatient on this journey. And that is really a test, okay? That is one of the several tests. There's the money test, there's the patience test, there's the betrayal test. I mean, there's a lot of tests if you're on the Kingdom Spouse journey. But in this case, there are some kingdom spouses out there who fail the patience test, and they go right back into lust. And they start worshiping themselves instead of God, and they play in God's face, and they just completely cheat on you, kingdom child, over and over and over again. And what I want to tell you is that person that has cheated on you over and over and over again is totally suffering, physically and mentally at this time. You can imagine what I'm talking about. I'm not going to get graphic into this because there is just no need, but please imagine for a moment the area that they worshipped more than God, which is the spirit of lust, is the spirit that is taking its toll on their life, on their physicality. So I'm sure you can add one and one and come up with what is going on there. All right, you guys. So I'm going to finish on a really good note, and that is I saw this morning, this is really interesting, and it kind of dovetails to an earlier video that I did that said you are in a dressing gown, and ask the Holy Spirit what clothing articles you should be purchasing at this time, because you are about to head out to a very special event, and it's going to be very, very symbolic and meaningful in your life. This one event is the beginning. The Lord just showed me Genesis. It was like Genesis sales event. I just saw it on my phone. And when I saw the word Genesis, it was for a car sales ad. The Lord brought me back to the dressing coat and the clothes to buy. And what he was saying is that night is the beginning. That event you're going to is the Genesis. It is the beginning of a whole new life. A whole new set of chapters in your life are going to start at this event. So the right clothing, the right hairstyle. Don't wear your hair like this. Everything needs to be just great for that night, and it will be. Ask the Holy Spirit what to wear, what cologne to put on, what perfume to put on, what shoes to wear. Just do it. Ask the Holy Spirit. So this was at an event. This is what I saw this morning at dark 30, and there were a series of very ornate punch bowl glasses set up, but they didn't look like your catch this all in the spirit, y'all. They did not look like traditional punch bowl glasses. They're like a little bowl, and it's a cup, but it looks like a little bowl. Okay, and you ladle some punch from the punch bowl into the little punch bowl glasses that look like bowls. No. These were like one of a kind. Okay, these were part frosted crystal, and then beautifully cut glass, and they were pink. So it was two-toned. The base was like a frosted crystal, and the top 70% of this glass was cut pink glass. They were beautiful, and they were lined up like on a buffet table. Okay, lined up in a row, and some woman with white nail polish. White means purity. Okay, white also means presence of God. So that's what was on her hand. The thing that she creates with, the thing that she makes her way in the world with, had the presence of God on it. And she went like this. One, two. I didn't hear 1, 2, 3, but it was like, She did this until she got to the 6th cup. And then I saw her little thumb come out, and she grabbed the 6th punch bowl cup. And that's all I saw in the vision. Right? Your eyes are like crossed when you come out of that, and you're like, what did that mean? But the woman had her choice of one-of-a-kind items. She was at a ball, y'all. Okay, so this event, it is fabulous. I mean, there are one-of-a-kind items there, not just, a plastic, Dixie cup or some, some plastic, red cup, okay, that you take over to the keg. This was fabulous. And she was really enjoying the moment of just picking out whatever glass she wanted. And she grabbed it. So, you know, this could be for a man too, you know, gentlemen. You may be invited to a very high-end evening, and you're just going to enjoy and revel in the atmosphere and revel in the beauty of the evening, you know. And so that's what I encourage you all to do. Enjoy that night, y'all. I hope I get to hear about your guys' evenings. If I end up being invited to a special gala or some kind of event, I don't know what it is, I will let you all know. All right, so get your good look on, you know, get your awesomeness happening, and enjoy. All right, so thank you for coming by the channel, and I will see you in the next one.